So basically, the mission's going to start off with being contracted by an organization to deal with a potential biological breakout and corruption at a facility. And
Again, another aliens monster?
you don't know if it's an aliens monster or not. He's being very vague about that. He's just saying that it's a biological substance or hazard. But the problem is that it's broken into the theme park that they've set up that is, a major investment for the company, and they wish for you to go in, assess the situation, and at the very least try and bring it back under control. All of the communications to the facility have since gone unanswered. It has been 12 hours, and the scheduled communications have not displayed anything of interest. There was
let me ask it. Is it no communications? Is there any remote video feed, remote security feed that can be accessed?
The limited cameras that we have available or access to that haven't already been destroyed or damaged show both bodies and blood scattered out through the entire facility.
Any old video? I mean, did they record what strewed the bodies, or was it corrupted?
Any sort of data was actually corrupted from the situation. What we believe is that there was an inside individual that tried to break out the biological creatures and sabotage both the security defense network and the automated door retraction controls. Everything is basically on the facility open.
Make it easier to get in, at least.
Extremely. The downside is that with everything open, there's nothing to, you're going to have to do your best to try and hack things to close down to seal off sections.
Okay, I know how to do that. Damage control.
The mine organization will stipulate that you'll be going into outer space to a secret facility which houses both a amusement park and a biological weapons manufacturing depot.
That sounds like a great idea.
What could possibly go wrong?
A little bit of human design there. Theme park next to a waste treatment center.
Biological development program for the military, and we're trying to do our best to keep it hush-hush, so that's why we're hiring the Shadowrun team. After the last mission that you guys did, we were quite pleased with how you kept your mouths shut about and told the truth with all the honesty that you could with your current clients, so we know that at least you will be able to get the job done.
What's the pay? Is there a certain pay rate, or are we allowed to remove?
There'll be a substantial reward for every live specimen that you're able to recapture and place back into quarantine. However, we will still give you a considerable fee per to get the station back into operational factor and to locate a particular doctor who we know is still currently alive on the station.
How do you know they're alive? Do they have an implant that we track?
We keep implants on all of our current staff, particularly the ones of high importance. All the lower individuals don't get chips because of the rings, and it's also a security key code to allow them to gain access to high-tech locations. We know that he's currently located in one of the sub-basements right next to the reactor. He hasn't moved for the last 6 hours.
Are there any other life signs, and what is your casualty policy? Depending on what the biological is, if we have to remove, if we end up having to kill some of your scientists, what's your policy on that? Are we trying to save who we can save, or what's priority, biological or employees?
The biologics, by all means, are the most important. Employees can be replaced because there's always more than enough people out there. However, the biologics consist of a substantial investment of the mine organization, and we do not really wish to see any sort of drop in our end of quarter yearly summary.
And who is our employer this time?
The mine organization by the name of Tonin.
Ah.
Are you providing transport there and back? What is our? Are you dropping us off? I mean, how are we going to get back from the station?
We'll be providing you with one of our advanced shuttles. You won't need to be put into cryo while you accelerate into high orbit. From there, the shuttle, once you give the proper commands, will bring you back down safely to our planet.
Okay, so I don't have to worry about a crew to keep alive.
It is all automated.
Excellent. I'm sorry to be asking all the questions. It's just someone else can take over if they have anything.
I'm going to assume that everyone is currently in the office, or if you're all still at the
Give me a
apartment.
sec.
Give me a sec. I think we're at the office, basically.
Or that this is a message that's it's a telegram that came over to Eklipse's apartment through the Shadowrun network.
Okay, hang on. First of all, we're at the Arcology, right?
You're at the where?
I say yes. It's up to you guys.
Okay, so this is the 6 months after our last run.
Yes.
Okay, we're in the Arcology, and you guys are gathered around the computer talking to our Mr. Johnson on the screen, and Eklipse and Traxx are going to come in, and Eklipse is now walking again after bionic upgrades, and I think that's about it. So
And
you
after
guys
a
are...
bit of relapse.
Yeah, okay, so there's this whole thing where there's like a sub-story that happened during the 6 months, and so that's the reason why she's only just walking again. But apart from that, I don't think much has changed. Like, we've moved into the Arcology now, and we might cover this in backstory one day. Bonus content. So
Yes,
yeah.
we did discuss some of the details last time. We even recorded it, but it's not like proper session. It's more like settling in and discussing what everybody has been doing and maybe improving a few skills.
So yeah, you've Tacoma's improved a couple of skills. Like, she's been at the gym. She's been doing her thing.
I gave Tacoma a little bit, a few more points in unarmed combat and pistols, I believe. Gosh, I can't even remember anymore.
I think that was it, because that's the one that governs tasers and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gundar went back to Canada to gain touching with roots.
Oh.
Yeah. What are our weapons restrictions going to be? Are we limited to like shotguns, or do we have to worry about, say, even a 9mm pistol punching through hull depressurizing? I know it's all open now, but do we have to worry about what weapons we take?
The outer shell of the station is of a high impact durable composite that's meant to take meteor impacts because of the high orbit. Therefore, we do have some impacts from meteors that do kind of swing by and muck us up a little bit. However, on the interior, all the doors, standard structure, reinforced bulkhead doors that separate the different sections. The design of it is almost like I would say a spherical design with a inner ring and outer ring, and then the levels kind of breach up and down. So
Death Star.
Somewhat like a Death Star. However, it's not a complete perfect sphere. There are levels that are based on a gyroscopic design, so it does generate internal gravity.
Okay.
However, we know that on the lower levels, gravity has been shut off. We don't know why.
And what can you tell us about the biological that will help us do our job?
We have over 143 different biological specimens that are on the station. We know that at least 42 of them are highly aggressive and highly developed, both intelligently and cybernetically. The other ones...
Are we talking biped, quadruped, flying, or amoebic? What type of body structure are we looking at?
Tonin shifts a little bit apprehensively and says, if you can think about it, it probably exists.
Okay, that simplifies things.
43.
As far as other biologicals turning loose, I'm guessing you want us to try anything that's loose. Is there anything that what type of contagions do we have to worry about?
On station, we have both tranquilizers, which will deliver dosages to the species that is set for. However, because of some of the cybernetic components on the more aggressive ones, which are used for military applications, they are resistant. So I would do your best to try and be creative with a way of trying to apprehend the other aggressive species. But for the most part, the non-aggressive ones are more meant for display at the exhibits.
And as far as containment, are you wanting us to get them back into their pre-assigned cages or contain them so that scientists can come in? You know, if I lock it in a closet and seal the closet, would that be acceptable so that your guy can come in, get it out of the closet, get back into the cage?
Containment is definitely a priority. We're trying to regain control of the station, but none of our staff are willing to go up there as they know the pertainings of the 43 aggressive specimens. So we're going to send you guys in there with a substantial fee. Whatever weapons you require or request, we'll certainly be able to grant them to you. However, do consider the weight restrictions that we have on the shuttle. So whatever you can bring, we'll do our best to accommodate that. However, there are more weapons on the station.
What about environmental hazards? Do we need, for example, do we need breathing protection, toxins from the specimen, and or just naturally in the environment?
Yes. What contagions are we looking for?
3 of the specimens do secrete a toxic resin that they can adhere to surfaces, which is meant for defensive trap settings. But we know that they've been keeping themselves to the higher level floors. It's almost like they're being very extremely territorial about the different sections. So we'll try and give you zones in which we can find safety, but you'll be able to converse with the artificial intelligence which is on board, which is not really communicating with us as we are.
And will you allow us access into your computer system so that we can use your security cameras to do this job? You know, to cover our own asses, can we use your equipment?
We will provide you with rudimentary codes, which will gain you access to the security systems. However, door controls are only given to the head honcho of the facility.
Okay, but are we going to have access into these areas?
All the doors are currently open.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
Which is the reason why we're concerned that all the floors are open. So it's basically a wide open playing field. We want to try and shut down and isolate all the contagions and the biologics.
Okay, I think we can.
How many life forms in total, sorry?
Last we checked was 43 aggressives, 22 non-aggressives, biological specimens. We have a staff of 342. However, most of the command staff are dead.
Okie dokie.
Are any of the microspecimens contagious in any way?
Any of the biological hazards that we use to manipulate genetic structures and specimens are all kept in isolated black boxes.
Do you have any security personnel alive?
There are no security personnel safely alive. When we originally had a situation 12 hours ago, there was a firefight on the inside of the ship trying to retake it, but then about 30 minutes into the firefight, everything went dead.
Okay, so we may find that we can get assistance, but we may be on our own. There's no telling.
Exactly.
Can we get a personnel list just in case?
You have a full personnel list downloaded, as well as profiles on each of the individual scientists, command staff, and security detail, as well as the map locations to each of the decks on where there's an armory, ladders, staircases, and elevators.
And I guess my final question, then I'll leave it be. Do we have to worry about any of the personnel being infected or hosting any of your biologicals?
Again, he's very apprehensive in answering the question. He says there is a low probability that any of our staff could be infected with any of the biologics. However, in the event that anyone is contagious with it, the priority is elimination and fire to incinerate.
Okay. I've seen all the sci-fi movies, the aliens, the thing, read some books. I don't want to be shooting my coworker, I want to be shooting old Eklipse here just because she might be an alien now.
Eklipse winks and says, "You never know."
That's good. You can depart in 6 hours when the shuttle is fueled. Is there anything else you require of us before we proceed with this contract?
We can send you the equipment that we're going to need, right? We just send you a list and you'll sort that out.
Yeah, send us a list and then we'll provide all the materials.
All right. Thank you very much.
So at this point, just tell me what you guys want on the shuttle. We're going to try and limit it down to, if you want to bring high explosives, you can bring high explosives. I'd be slightly disturbed if you did, because we kind of want to keep the station intact. But it's up to you, fine folk, what you want to bring. Limited to what you guys can carry. So if you guys are bringing like 10,000 rounds of ammunition, I'll kind of wonder what you're going to be doing up there with that.
I think as long as I've got what's on the character sheet, I'll be good.
Let me just check real quick.
Are there
Maybe
any special
some sort
toys?
of, a couple of net guns.
Okay.
I'm sure they've probably got a weapons list of what's available. It looks adequate, then we'll use what's there if we need to beyond what we already have.
Could you also send over one or two of those trank guns that are available on the station if they are handy?
Yeah, we'll have those set up for you on the ship.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Just bringing my character sheet up. Hang on.
Yeah. Tacoma, does you need anything special?
I would like to equip the shuttle with one emergency air tank and mask for each crew member, and also some sort of anti-infection agents, like something we can inject fast to counter the most elementary exposure.
We can definitely provide you with a generic vaccination prior to you going onto the shuttle and going to the ship. However, it's also based on the immunity of each of the characters, which will be fortitude and will. So if you have a weak immune system from living in the slums, the vaccine will not be as potent or as durable as you would hope it to be, such as that very amazing and handsome troll that you guys had shipped up to Canada.
Let's see if Tacoma has what's the dwarven racial ability? She had some sort of extra.
Better eyesight.
No, there was thermal vision, but there was also resistance to biological agents or resistance to toxicity.
Resistance to toxicity, yeah.
Yeah, so she will have a little bit higher stats in that. Still, some sort of protective suit, like hazmat slash space suit would be lovely.
We can provide those, however, it will cause you to lose some mobility.
Oh.
We'll take them.
Headgear then?
We can certainly provide you.
We'll take these spacesuits anyway, just as a precautionary measure, but we don't have to use them.
Yeah, we will have them on the standby, and also gas masks and headgear on the standby.
We can do that.
Alright, cool.
And let's also grab some gear that would allow us to move about in the areas with low gravity. So basically, climbing gear, suction cups, carabin hooks, line. So
We can provide you
yes,
with
things.
magnetic boots.
Oh, would be lovely. Magnetic
Magnetic.
boots and some basic grappling gear.
If I remember correctly, we've already got climbing gear. It's either in the back of one of the vans or it's in. We've moved all our stuff into the Arcology, so there's climbing gear in here somewhere. Times 2, I think, from the first mission we did, getting the.
Oh yeah, we never used that, did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so some sort of climbing harness would be a good idea, I think.
With the suits, they come with grapple harnesses already attached to them.
Oh, okay.
Samuel, do you require anything?
It's not Samuel anymore.
You are
it's
addressing
Traxx.
you're addressing the wrong guy.
Oh, all right.
Samuel disappeared into shadows.
DR, do you need
making
anything?
up a list right now.
All right, perfect. It's going to be like 10,000 new yen or something, or like a couple of million new yen. It's like, so I need all these things, but don't put them on the shuttle. Just I'll sort them myself and I'll bring them with me. It's like, okay.
I think Eklipse is going to do the same as Barscil and just take what's on the character sheet already. She's quite comfortable with what she's got, and the biological leg that she's or the
Bionic.
what's it? Yeah, the cyberware leg that she's now got has got a compartment in it that's specially made for a broken down version of her Barrett 121. So she'll just have that and her assault rifle, and that'll pretty much be it. All like the spacesuits and everything, I'm assuming, are going to be on the shuttle.
Sounds great.
All right, cool.
For DR's question on whether or not there's room for a van full of drones, I can provide you with, well, depending on the size of the drones. What are the size of the drones?
Various sizes, everything from micro to medium.
I can provide you with space on the shuttle for 2 mediums, and the micros shouldn't be a problem for up to 10 or 15.
Groovy.
Are these also assault drones as well, or?
The medium ones are armed, yes.
Okay, I'll grant you 3. Because of the severity and that everyone else is kind of already providing like equipment that's already on the station, so.
And are we getting how detailed of a map are we getting of the station?
Out of character, Kyo, think about Aliens 2 when they're doing the planning segments.
Right.
Yeah, that detailed.
Okay. So we can find air shafts, ducts, so on and so forth.
Air shafts, ducts, electrical outlets, hidden compartments on the floors. It's all been thoroughly scanned.
Just schematics more than
Yeah.
we need to find if we need to find it.
Although, unfortunately, your copy of the schematics does not have any wording of what's in them or what's there. You just see that they are kind of like blank cubes based on size.
And that makes sense. I understand that classified research. But I'm trying to gather as much information as we can to do the job.
Of course, and we will do our best to provide it. My organization does do its best to please both the civilian contractors as well as the professional contractors.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right, yeah, I think Keo's provided his items that he wants, right?
Yeah. 3 Nazis walk into a bar. We can definitely do that.
Alright, and apart from that, everyone else is good to go, yeah?
Sounds good.
I think so.
Alright, so yeah, we're going to pack up our gear at the Arcology and grab... I don't know, is someone going to come pick us up?
Yeah, so they come by with a decent sized truck with proper escorts because this is a high priority mission. They also don't want you guys deviating from the course. They grab all of your gear and equipment. A deposit of 100,000 new yen have been placed into a mutual bank account, which will be partial and will also be subtracted based on the amount of damage that you guys allocate to the station and to the biological specimens.
So we're not earning however much it is per life form we retrieve. We're losing from our total payment, however many we damage.
Based on the damage that you have to each of the specimens, you will receive a bonus. So if you can ascertain one without any sort of damage, you get an increase of 15,000 new yen. With a total potential value of, let me run my calculator, of 975,000 new yen.
Whoo!
That is without damage.
So minimize harm, capture rather than kill. Capture more
The
is
damage
better.
will be coming out of our paycheck.
They will come out of the paycheck, but it eventually will balance out. He's kind of smiling at you on the camera as he's talking to you on the bus and saying, "We're figuring that we're kind of going to allocate. We know how professional you guys are, so we'll allocate the million new yen just in case. However, we figure that there will be some casualties, and in the event that there are some casualties, then we will compensate you for that."
Okay.
We're in the bus.
No
I
further
like
questions.
To specify gear, so on my character sheet, Tacoma's standard equipment is the taser, bow staff, and she's also grabbing a few flash grenades. Like that. That's what's always on her, besides what we already specified.
That's fine. All right, so you get to the shuttle, and everyone gets on board. All of your equipment, all of your drones, everything has been loaded in. You have to ascend a ladder as the rocket is pointed upwards to get into your seats, which are placed in a horizontal locking position. So I'd like everyone to roll just 2 d6s to see whether or not you get to see if you can get into your seats or if you fall based on gravity.
Well, I rolled 1 and 2.
So Tacoma grabs onto the first rung and slips and stubs her foot.
Ow.
No damage.
I got a 4 and a 6.
DR is able to lunge up with impressive speed and gets to the first seat that's there right in front of the automated pilot and bolts himself in.
Yeah, I also got 4 and 6.
Then you.
I've got to find a different dice roller. I don't have my dice on me at the moment, and this one that I downloaded sucks. So give me just a minute while I pull the one up I've got on the phone. I would have gotten, I guess, a 6 and a 4. How this thing's doing.
You get into all of your seats, and other than Tacoma making a little bit of a foolish action with her terrible clumsiness and luck, you all get into your seats, and the countdown begins, and you guys are blasted off into space. Huzzah!
Space!
Huzzah.
The online artificial intelligence of the Ship turns around and looks at you with bright bioluminescent eyes and says, "Greetings and welcome to the sarcophagi. It'll be a 12-hour journey to this space station. We have 3 docking ports available. You have an option, based on the company's proposal, to choose which docking station you wish to have. You can have the northern top section, the southeastern, or the central docking port."
Okay. Do we get
Since I
time
don't
to
have
discuss?
a map, I'd say probably we'll start at the lowest end and work our way up.
Is
Eklipse
lowest and the part without gravity?
The lowest part is also without gravity. It is also where the engineering bay is located, as well as the last remaining staff of the command staff.
The way I look at it, doing boardings, you go in. Generally, what we get in, we went in, we split. We hit the, yeah, my brain's not working. I'm sorry. We split, went to engineering, and we went up to the bridge and took control of, took control of the boat, took control of the motors. Where this is a space station, I say we start at one end, and since there's stuff running loose, all the doors are open, work our way pretty much room to room, vent to vent if need be, and work our way from one end to the other, closing up behind us, sealing it, locking stuff in if we have to, because then we can come back. If we open a door and there's fucking raptors in there, we close the door, we seal the door, we come back to it later.
Mm-hmm. And Eklipse is going to agree with this. She doesn't want to start in like the center area.
Instead
She
of
wants
jumping
to
into the
start
middle and having to have all sides on us. Start at one end, work to the other.
Methodical search and clear.
Yep.
Keep in
also, yep.
Tacoma, that you're going to be in a lot of vents since you're the itty bittiest. Me being, 10 foot tall, I have to get into a motherfucking vent.
You will be doing the
Don't
lifting
forget, I have
to the
plenty of
vent.
drones that can crawl through vents.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Okay, remember, she's the one that wanted us to tase an electric generator. Keep that in mind.
I still want to see what she does on the station, if she still has that inkling to do that.
So Tacoma agrees with the plan to start from the bottom, but also suggest putting on the suits, since those have the climbing gear on them. Because right
Sounds
now
good.
we have to work through low gravity, so it might be useful to be able to lock onto stuff.
So once you put the suits on, you're going to be taking a negative 2 to reflexes.
Makes sense. Is there any additional arbor bonus, though?
There is going to be a +1 AP. They're meant more so for atmospheric survivability rather than armoring up and taking damage.
Now, your average spacesuit, you could poke a pinhole in it and kill the guy inside. They're not armored.
Yeah, but these ones are slightly more beefed up because of the extreme altitude in which the station is, and we try our best to avoid any sort of micrometeors damaging the internal suits. So it can take definitely it can take a impact military spec suits, yeah.
Whee!
And something I should have asked before we got on here, due to Barscil's size, is he going to be able to move through the corridors? Or are they like 8-foot corridors? I'm going to be severely restricted on what I can do. Probably should have asked before I got on the fucking on the boat.
My organization does pride itself on trying to accommodate all species. However, there are definitely several sections of it, including the command deck, that have 7-foot ceilings. So there is some wiggle room for you. However, most of the time you're going to be dealing with 9-foot ceilings. And the open area of the entertainment area is open, kind of like a half-domed kind of biosphere.
All right, I will take care of that as soon as we get on board. In fact, I'll do it here on the shuttle. I've got a spell that lets me shape and size without reducing stats, so I'll shrink down to 6'7". That's my height.
Okay. That's actually pretty neat.
It's not long term. I'll be able to do it for a little while at a time, but You know, if I get knocked out, I'll immediately revert to my normal size. So let's not get me stuck in a bed.
Tacoma is nudging Barscil in the ribs and says, "Let's keep an eye out for any unusual spiritual activity, because when there's a biolab, her prior experience tells her that biolabs with all the science and shit tend to have some unexpected spiritual occurrences."
Yeah, that's something I forgot about because I'm not really used to. I can stay on the shuttle and provide all your astral. I can cast spells from astral into mundane. I can fight you that way, but if there are astral things, I won't be. It'll be a separate encounter from everybody else. I'd rather stay with everybody else where I can, but I can deal with the astral, the creatures that are there.
We're going to need all
but
the
you
firepower
would
we can
be
get.
but you would be able to detect them or
Yes,
keep some sort of
I can,
extra care to
for
detect
Rue,
them.
I can do a list of active spells. That way you can cancel them as needed. If you want, I can go through and get that for you real quick.
If there does come to a point where I require that, then I will definitely bring that up. But currently, we know that, and the information specs stipulate that there is no paranormal activities that were researched on the station. It was more of a physical nature and intellectual boosting.
So a lot of the spells require concentration. You know, just to have it like in the back of your mind. Like if you're reading and watching TV, you can focus on both enough to do both.
Okay.
But if I get into heavy combat, the astral will drop away because I'm, just the way it works in a game and in real life.
Okay.
So just consider it active until it needs to be brought up.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, I'll definitely allow that to happen for this one. All right, so you guys land on the station, and the artificial intelligence of the sarcophagi stipulates to you, like, hey, thanks very much for flying with us, and that you did not try and shoot me or blow me up as the last team that was here.
No. Pet the Dash. You're a good ship. I like you. You're going to come home with us.
Thank you. The last team that was sent in was not as compliant as you folk are.
Oh, hold on. The last team. So even though this has been 12 hours since it happened, there's someone else has been here already?
Indeed.
Oh, I'm glad you're so friendly.
Do tell.
Could you give us a brief rundown of what you know about them? How long did they last? Did they have good gear? How fucked are we?
I'm sorry, that information is not in my databanks.
It's classified.
It is not classified. I do not know. I am just a ship. I can give you a running estimate of my time in travel, but I can calculate and surmise it was 3 hours.
Oh, we're gonna die. We're all gonna die. Fine, interesting.
Thank you again for boarding the sarcophagi. Have a pleasant stay.
Bye-bye, sarcophagi.
Bye-bye.
All right, so as the door opens up, it leads you into a darkened shuttle bay. There's another shuttle that's parked just beside yours. The canopy is dim. There's kind of blood smeared on the access panel. And there's a long ramp style towards, there's a foyer sign that's kind of flickering that says, welcome to the biodome.
We probably need an order of Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been drinking a little bit. My brain's not functioning 75%. Need an order of travel. I want to be behind Tacoma so I can shoot over her. She's easiest for me to shoot over with a bow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to stay behind her or Eklipse, whoever the shorter members are.
Also,
cover Tacoma as we do this.
Mm-hmm. Also, since Tacoma. Also, since Tacoma has the low light vision. Oh no, or was it thermal vision? I mix up. What's the dwarf racial abilities?
Thermal, I believe. Or no, it's low light. It's not thermal.
Okay.
Yeah, dwarves are low light.
Okay, so she has a little bit of perception edge, but as we have established, her perception doesn't necessarily come with situational awareness. So she can see, but she is not necessarily good at prioritizing what to look at. Okay.
So the
Yeah,
order
that
is
would
now
probably be
in place.
best.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What I would like everyone to do, just very quickly, is to do a perception roll to see if there's anything in the hangar bay.
Ooh, I can do that. I know how to do that.
Whee! I will type in my score.
Yeah, for ease, let's just type in the scores. If that's whatever one we like.
So 2 5s, 2 6s. Only one 1.
So Tacoma, with her low light vision, is able to see very well inside of the hangar bay, and she takes notice of eyes watching from a upper vent, very reptilian eyes, before it scuttles off and disappears.
Is the vent sealed?
The vent was not sealed.
Will we be able to access that vent and provide it with some sort of makeshift shielding?
I will. You can
Is
certainly
there something
gain
laying
access.
around that we can grab and tack weld over the vent?
And yeah, like we do have the low gravity right here, so we should be able to sort of bounce up there. And if we were able to cover the vent up with some sort of mesh or even tarp or anything, then
No, you can certainly do that. Where because it is low gravity, you do feel that you can definitely float up to the vent. You also have the magnetic boots, which allows you to restrain yourself on the deck if you so need to. And in your kit, which is provided to you by the sarcophagi, is included a torch welder and all the equipment that you so requested, as well as 2 security cards, which will allow you to attempt to override the locking door mechanisms.
okay,
and be able to lock the doors for them.
Or gain access to security zones.
Yeah, so in that case, Tacoma will suggest that we put some sort of makeshift cover on that vent, so that at least we know that something won't come at us from that direction.
Okay, not just the vent. Let's check all doors, hatches. Make sure go through the crates. Anything in here. Start at one end, work our way through,
And the other shuttle.
Right. If it's in here, let's go ahead and double check everything. Every room we go into, double check that there's not, since they can't tell us how big or small they are. We may be looking at stuff that's under a foot. Just go through and see what we can grab. If somebody picks up a box, like where I live, if you're looking for snakes, someone's lifting a chunk of wood out of the way, the other one's standing there with the rifle. But have somebody backing somebody working. There's 4 of us working 2 teams. Somebody seal the hatch. The other 2 of us go and do what we can find.
So who's going to be the one with the welding torch and the equipment, and the other one's going to be rifling, and how will you guys split off?
Eklipse will be rifling. She's got gel rounds in her assault rifle.
And I'll cover Tacoma while she does the work.
Okay. Does this...
Because Tacoma, you are our engineer, basically, the one that does that kind of stuff, correct? Not just
sort
assuming
of. Yeah, sort of. She has
You're our
makeshift
maintenance
armor
tech, basically?
making. Yeah, makeshift armor, artisan. So all sorts of fine mechanics things.
Okay. I mean, I can back you on just about every character. That's how I designed it. But I'm here for medical and for covering.
All right, so
Since D, can we stick one in the vent to start with?
Yeah, I can launch
Put something in the
multiple.
vent and then seal the vent behind it. We can retrieve it further down the road?
Yeah, just Miller join the team, I guess.
Can you do a roll on your drone piloting to see if you can get into the vent?
Hang on, let me find all this.
While you're at Eklipse, do you want to tell me what
Fleet
your
over me,
perception
absolutely
was?
do so.
Eklipse is just going to cover the rest of the team while they're sorting the drone out and trying to cover the vent. And
Okay.
she's keeping a keen eye.
With
Her cyber
perception-
eye enhancements are going to be on.
All right, so Traxx is able to also notice that there are multiple vents all around the bay. So you only took notice of eyes in one vent, but there are about 6 vents that are assorted in rows of 3 on either side of the hangar bay, which holds the 2 shuttles.
Okay, that'll...
3 of the vents are closed, 2 on the left, 1 on the right.
I'd like to seal all of them, but it's up to him which one he goes into. I want to have as we move through the place, I want to make sure that it's secure behind us so we can fall back properly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why are we
Ain't
putting a drone in
nothing
the vent
scarier than
anyway?
having someone come out of where they weren't supposed to fucking be in the first place. You know, having a room that's being cleared and you come back through and there's somebody that comes out saying, please don't shoot. when the room's supposed to be cleared already.
That would be unfortunate. It means my little lovelies didn't do the job properly.
Yeah. I don't want to think, oh, we can fall back into that room, it's clear, and then find something with tentacles and teeth.
Okay. All right, so you'll begin to start sealing up the first vent.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tacoma is at the vent right now, and someone is covering. So it's
Yeah, Barscil's covering her.
Barscil's. Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
do I need to roll for this?
Yes, you do.
So that's artisan, I guess.
That is artisan, and I'd also like you to do a strength check to actually make sure that you can actually hold the metal plate down in place.
If need to, I can get bigger and hold it for her.
Okay, let's see. So strength first.
Strength first.
Strength. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's 1.
Don't drop that on my
2,
toe.
4, 5. So 2 failures, 1. No, one failure, 1 success.
So you hold it relatively okay. It's crooked. There's gaps in between the metal, but you think it's okay.
Yeah, not the prettiest job in the world, but it will hold.
And then
Right,
artisan,
so-
see how well it actually will hold in place.
Artisan. 1, 3, 4, 6.
Okay, so you do a pretty good job at welding it into place. It's dirty. You give it a little tug. It's not budging. So
Yay!
On to the next one.
Same checks.
same checks.
Okay, strength. I know, wrong
And
window.
Barscil, can you do a quick perception?
Absolutely. Five successes.
All right, you hear something in the vent. It's moving. It's kind of like sliding along the actual air shaft vent.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'll be sure to alert her. What lighting do we have to maybe take a peek?
You have flashlights available on the suits,
Yeah,
but it's too dark on the inside. So either you can pop your head in to take a look, or you can either.
I'd like to toss a flare if we've got one. If not, a flashlight. Toss it up in there. See what we can see from not having to be in there.
Each suit carries 2 flares.
Okay. I mean, I've got a flashlight. I can see pretty well for a ways.
If you're going to use a flare, I'd like you to throw an accuracy check to see if you can actually toss it into the vent.
All right.
Yeah. Traxx could fly one of his larger drones up there with a flashlight taped to it, I suppose.
True. But of course, I love chance. You know, we expect there's going to be shit in there, but there is something in that one. It's slithery.
So are you guys going to take a drone, or are you going to take a flare?
Up
A
the
2D
tracks.
archers.
Okay, I guess we tape a flashlight to the drone and send it up there to see what's what.
Okay, so check out your piloting stat to get into the vent, and then you also need to roll a perception to see the video of the drone.
It's a medium drone. Will that fit in the vent?
Yeah, it's big enough for that.
Okay, so what did you want me to roll again?
So I want you to roll your piloting to see if you can get into the vent. Like, it'll just barely fit into the vent, and then I also want you to roll a perception to see from to take in what the flashlight is revealing on the inside of the tunnel.
3 failed, 2 passes.
Okay, so that's based on your piloting, right? Or is that with your...
Yeah.
Okay, so you clip one of the I guess the rotors that propels it up into the air, but it does shine a light on the inside, but the camera is too fuzzy. So can you just roll a quick perception to see if you saw anything? And Keo, if you're going to be putting an ear to the others as of that, I'd like you to do a quick perception as well.
4 fails, 1 pass. I'm not doing too good today.
It's okay. So with that, you catch a blur of green, what looks like to be ridges, but then the sound also scampers away further down into the shaft. So it's moving away from you guys.
Tacoma says, call back the drone and let's close this one up. And she's holding the plate ready.
So we'll move the drone away.
I'd like to keep the drone looking down the vent, just in case. It is armed with gel rounds.
Oh, okay.
So are you going to be locking it into the air shaft?
No, just covering Tacoma.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Tacoma stands by with the torch.
Okay. So you can do a quick... we'll just do a strength check to seal up this one, because you know what? You said that you were pretty good with your artistry, so we'll just do a strength check to see if you can actually bolt it to the plate and then seal it up.
I already did one strength check. Do I make another one?
No, you'll be fine.
Okay.
So we'll seal.
My strength check was 1, 4, 5, and 6. So 2 successes against 1 failure.
That's fine. You seal that bad boy up pretty good.
Yay!
The other vents, they're Barscil. You
Only I did 3 due to not getting too far ahead.
That's okay. No, you're doing fine. So with Barscil, he was checking out the other vents to see if he heard anything, but each of those only heard the sound and movement of heavy breathing that echoed and resonated down the air shaft chambers.
Awesome. I will share that with others. There's obviously something that's at a juncture in there somewhere, since it's coming out of more than one vent.
And with that, all the vents are sealed. You now have the other shuttle, and you also have the opened foyer, which is still has that lovely green iridescent lighting that says welcome.
Tacoma looks around suspiciously and nudges Traxx and says, give us a good sweep of this room once again with the drone footage, like from ceiling to floor.
Then I say we start working on the door and then come back to the shuttle. See if we can just swipe the card and get the door to seal for us, so we can...
All right.
Open. We should have done that first.
So you swipe the card, and you get the brilliant red light of an error in the system.
Yay!
That'll be for Traxx when he's done, or maybe Eklipse if you've got the proper hacking
She's
of.
got a data jack.
That's what it was. Is you let me fucking swipe the card. Broke it.
Bad luck.
Yeah, I got cyber jack, and I've also got what is it? Give me a sec here. I'm having a bit of trouble finding it.
Do we have any equipment between the that can do a fingerprint off the bloody handprint to see whose it might have been? You know, who actually put the handprint?
Sorry, I've got cyber technology.
Unfortunately, if you don't have that current, because it wasn't part of your actual kit to say whether or not you can fingerprint or do any sort of alias, unfortunately, there's nothing that says you have the ability. You only have the files and what people look like rather
Okay.
than their fingerprint records.
Okay. So even if I could scan it, it wouldn't do a damn bit of good.
You can scan it, but then it would only be able. It wouldn't process anything. We don't keep
Right.
fingerprints on file.
Okay.
The Traxx would like to take a copy of it just for future reference.
You can definitely. You got that in your inventory now.
Yeah. I figure we may come across it somewhere else. We can just sort of track the guy's path.
Okay.
If
Can
we
I,
can't... Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead, I'll type it in.
Okay, if we can't seal the door right now, let's have somebody guard the door. Somebody more heavily armed, and others, let's check out that other shuttle.
Alright, Eklipse is willing to stand by the door because she's got an assault rifle, so it just makes no sense.
You'll need to properly perform what a sense means.
Look for life signs.
You can feel that there's something inside the shuttle.
I will
Very possible.
share that. Even if I can't tell. Let me see how specific it is real quick.
Okay.
If it's not magical, I should be able to tell if it's magical or if it's got a lot of cyber in it, a lot of cyberware, because that screws up the auras.
That sounds great.
Sorry. Yeah, I should just be able to tell, you know, if it's heavily cybered, it'll have a darker aura than someone that's not. But beyond that, I probably couldn't be able to tell if it was, you know, different between a human or a troll. I wouldn't know.
So you can definitely detect that there is one blur that's on the inside that's on the main deck. So basically on the other side of the door, but you can't really tell what it is.
Okay. I will share that information.
Is the door currently closed?
The door of the shuttle is sealed, yes.
Tacoma walks up to the shuttle and knocks on the door and says, hello, anybody in there?
So with the voice, you can hear that there's movement on the other side of the door, but there's no voice that comes with it.
She raises her voice and says, hello, we mean you no harm. If you are human, knock on the door.
You hear a pounding on the door as if there's a scraping of a scraping sound, basically, and almost like someone was trying to put their shoulder into the door.
That doesn't sound good.
Well, you're the littlest. You want to step back, cover. We'll have Traxx pop the door. and you and I'll cover and take out whatever comes out.
Okay.
You know, use a gel sleep round for you, and if it's more lethal than that, then come out of our.
Okay.
So who's the lucky guy that stands beside the door and opens it?
Let me check.
Eklipse is going to make mention that if the thing's already trapped in the shuttle and it's not likely to get out, then that's one part of our job already done, right?
Yeah, but if the
True.
thing, on the other hand, if the thing is actually a member of the other crew, they might provide us with helpful information.
I say we seal the shuttle. I agree with Eklipse. Should have thought of that first. Seal the damn thing. Member of the crew. We can tap Morse code and say, "Come look at us through the window."
Tacoma is such a perky individual. There could be survivors in there. It's clearly not. No, but we should just check just in case.
Is it possible we could communicate with the shuttle's AI?
The show's AI, unfortunately, is damaged. You can tell from the control panel that there is the open and close switch, but the rest of the panel looks like it's been carved out, almost.
Yeah, let's just seal the thing. Tack weld the doors shut.
Okay.
You might want to set a trap up as well, just in case this thing's particularly nasty.
Do I need to roll for something then?
No, I'll just give it to you. You're out of combat right now, so
okay.
you weld that shit. It looks awesome.
Pretty, no?
Who wants to go tap on the windshield and see what's in there?
You can certainly do that. No one wants to take a look in the inside?
It's up to y'all. You should be able to handle a
Traxx
small
is sent the drone
meteorite.
up to look inside.
So when you look inside, it's pretty clear the view that there are the autopilot's been torn off of its current central mount, and there's body parts drifting through the interior.
We definitely didn't want to let this thing out.
Is there any?
What was that?
Is there any way we can see into the shuttle and see what this might be as I push the incorrect?
You can definitely try to hack into the onboard cameras in the passenger bay, and that could be a remote hack into the system because the shuttle still has power. It's just not responding to external commands.
Okay. Wants to take care of that.
He wants to know what's in there.
Well, I'd like to know if it's something I have to worry about trying that can get out of there behind us.
Yeah, like, do we need to nuke it from orbit or something, or?
Yeah.
It's the only way to be sure.
Only way to be sure.
So who's doing the hacking?
Eklipse is too far away. She's at the door right now, covering the foyer, which is kind of.
My hacking's only a 2. So what's yours, Traxx?
I think it's a 4. Let me find it.
While you're at it, Eklipse hears a knock at the other side of the hallway that leads from the foyer out into a large open area. So down a hallway, you can hear that there's an echo of sound coming further down the way.
I'm gonna Eklipse is gonna go prone and communicate this to the rest of the team through comlink.
Love it. Okay, so Traxx, if you want to hack the terminal and see if you can actually get in and see what is in the passenger bay, you can. Just roll 3 successes. And then can you roll a perception check, Eklipse, to make sure that you can see what's down the hall?
I got 4
Yeah,
successes.
what kind of knocking is it? Like a phone tapping behind a... Or is
Kind
it
of like
more like a...
a tunk, 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 tunk.
Okay. Wait, is it intelligent knocking or is it just random?
It definitely has a pattern to it.
Excellent. It's an animal luring us in to eat it.
Next,
Remember,
you
some of this stuff's
see.
supposed to be intelligent.
Next, you see a head kind of popping out, and it's definitely not human. It's more of a reptilian style head, and it exposes teeth, and then takes back off in the opposite direction, knowing that you sensed it.
Okay, I'm not gonna chase. Could I shoot at it? Could I put a round in its back?
You can definitely try and take a shot at it.
Okay, so it hasn't gone like round a corner or anything. It's still just diving
It
down
was
this corridor.
halfway down the hall. It snuck up on you pretty good. It was about
Okay.
40 feet from you.
All right, I'm gonna roll my long arms to see if I can put a round in its height.
Shoot it in the ass!
I got 4 fails and 4 successes.
Is this the gun that takes out, that automatically takes out one of the fails?
No, this is the assault rifle. The Barrett's the one that's
Oh,
got the added part.
So you just unleash and miss 4 times and hit 4 times?
Yeah, that works. So he hits 4 times. Can you roll your damage?
Sure. What is it if it's 6p damage? What does that mean?
I think
6
the
points
P
of
is
damage.
So what? That's like a total of 6 that I could get out of this, or what?
Yeah, P is physical. The other one is stun. It's either P or S.
So how do I roll to determine how much damage I do if it's 6p?
It should be 6 dice. Their damage and stuff is weird. We'll have to work on some of that.
Okay.
But I think if it's 6p, it's 6 dice.
Yeah, so 66.
Okay, I do. Oh shit! So I got 2. I got 1 fail and 2 successes.
No, that would be total. You'd total up the score.
Oh,
Total of
okay.
those 6
Total
dice.
19. And these are gel rounds, by the way. I should probably have pointed that.
So the gel rounds basically just immobilize, correct?
I think they're stun. I could be wrong. I think they're just stun rounds. Like they daze the enemy. You've got a second chart that isn't physical damage on the character sheet, and when that one fills up, it means they're unconscious.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a mild narcotic that knocks you out.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So your 4 shots that miss kind of skew off, and they coat parts of the bulkheads, but then the other 4 shots hit it in the flank, and it drops down and kind of like glides across the metal grating and comes to a rest.
Excellent.
Is that what we all hear? Juice. Excellent.
Yeah, that's precisely what you hear.
Any luck with those video feeds?
Yes, we needed 3 passes, I got 4.
All right, so you open up the video on your terminal, and you can see there is a bipedal reptile that looks somewhat like a velociraptor, but it's been armored with cybernetics on its hind legs, and its claws have been removed in terms of heating knives.
This might be a little bit too late to ask, but would it be able to get through the welded door and or the cockpit?
It's certainly trying to work on the door, and it's cleaved in some deep gouges. However, it hasn't had an opportunity to break through. But now that it knows that you're on the other side, he's going at it pretty hard.
Maybe we should. Could we send the shuttle out to space? The other shuttle?
We've got an easier option than that. Are there any small windows? If not, we can cut a hole big enough, 4x4 hole big enough to put stun grenades, with the RPG or the gel rounds. But we can use a stun grenade and just drop it inside through a hole we cut in the panel.
The only windows that are available on the shuttle are the forward command cockpit.
Okay. It's up to you guys. I gotta take a tinkle real quick, but it's up to you if we punch a hole in it ourselves, a small hole, and gas the damn thing, or if we want to risk opening a space big enough for it to get out after us.
A small hole sounds more reasonable.
Can we sabotage the life support in there and suffocate it?
Since we have access to the cameras, can he maybe access the internal life support and put it to sleep?
You can certainly do that. Once he broke into the controls, he can do whatever he wants. The security isn't that vigilant.
Yeah, just shut down the air in there until it passes out, and give it another minute after that. We can go in there and truss it up, and take a close look and see what we're dealing with. This one and the one that Eklipse has, and maybe have a better idea of what we're dealing with.
I like this plan very much.
While all this is going on, Eklipse has maintained her position, but she's keeping her gun trained on that thing. Like, she's glancing around, but her gun's always on that reptile, crazy creature thing that was running about.
Tacoma joins Eklipse at the door, and she's keeping one of the flashbang grenades ready.
If you've got that mountain climbing gear, you can tie it up, like cut a bit of wire or rope or whatever, and just tie the thing up so we don't have to worry about it. Maybe throw it in the shuttle later. Although I don't think these two will get along.
What?
If we tie this one up and stick him in the shuttle with the other one, I don't think they're going to get along that well.
Well, there's a teensy problem that we welded the shuttle door already.
Oh yeah, okay. We're just gonna bust a little hole in it and stick some gas or smoke in there, right?
So if we get to it, then we could certainly tie it down, but we can't put it into the shuttle willy-nilly. But right away, the area that we are looking at is big open area, right?
Yeah.
So Tacoma says, I ain't going in there unless a drone has cleared the view first.
Well, if we shut down the, I guess we've got two things. If the life support's off, can I sense anything else, moving around in there or any other life forms?
Not within the shuttle itself.
Okay. Because we can always unweld the door. I'm sure if we can tack weld it, we've got some of the gel sticky stuff that'll take it back off.
No, right now I was speaking about the next door room. I wasn't talking about shovel.
Oh, sorry.
Eklipse will say that she's not, Eklipse isn't going anywhere. She's just going to watch this corridor, wait for you guys to get done with this room, clearing this room out, and then we'll move on.
Mm-hmm.
So with the life support turned off, the Raptor on the inside stops its work and then retreats further back into the shuttle and away from the camera.
I think we'll leave him be for a minute until he takes a nap. Leave Traxx here and go and work on trussing up the other one and get it secured and be able to cover the person that's doing that further down the corridor.
Wait.
But get that one secured and get it back, and then we can just store it in the shuttle if we have to. Once we get inside, get one in the shuttle.
Rue, describe what's beyond this door actually. Like the area that we're in, there is a doorway that the Eklipse is guarding, but what's beyond that door? Is it a corridor or is it like a big open area?
So the foyer basically leads towards an elevator shaft, which is open.
Okay.
The cables are dangling. There's two corridors. The one in which Eklipse was able to knock down. Is there a map of the place we can look at?
Can you upload it to Google Maps?
Um,
Without us cheating you?
No, I'd have to design the actual maps myself, so I'll do that later because the session is almost out once we get through into the foyer, and then I will build the maps and then I'll upload them.
Okay.
Oh yes, don't you worry, it's very terrifying. So beyond the foyer, there are 2 hallways. One that was deadline center, in which Eklipse dropped the second target with gel rounds, and then there's also a side security den and another hallway that is pitch black. You can't see within it.
Okay. Is the raptor that's on the floor when we get it secured? Is it cyber enhanced, obviously, or not?
You're making a big assumption to think that there are 2 raptors. The one that Eklipse dropped does not have any sort of external cybernetic magnifications. It also looks more harmless than harmful.
Don't trust it. Tie it up anyway.
Okay, so
The
who's
pretty
gonna tie
ones
it up?
tend to have poison. That's not the pretty.
Yeah, so it's a bipedal with a well-defined, pronounced snout and 2 thorns on either of its thumb caps.
Awesome. Love these guys. They're one of my most favorites.
And
How big is
let's
it?
shot
chuck-
it.
Yeah, let's duct tape those limbs to its back, so that those thorns are facing nowhere outward.
Pretty sure that would break its shoulder blades.
Oh,
I understand what you mean, though. Palms open together, taped together.
mm-hmm. Yeah, in such a way that that the thorns aren't like poking out, so that if we would have to move it, we won't jab ourselves.
Gotcha.
You've never tied anyone up, have you?
Well, not that she wants to tell you how she ties people up.
We tape it together, knees and ankles. If elbows will reach, elbows. If not, palms flat together, and then you tape the hands to the knees out.
Yeah, but even though it's bipedal, it's not like fully humanoid shape.
Dogs and goats and cows and.
So I like to do a quick
Like
accuracy.
if I would tie up a goat, I would tie it on a pole. You know, like.
We're just gonna drag it by its tail.
You know, like
imagine a person on its side. Tape knees and ankles together. Tape the palms together, and then you tape the palms to the knees. And then it's basically it's in a ball, they're curled up already, and then we can just drag it by. We may have to worry about its tail in the shit of us at some point, but we can tape it. Tape the tail to one of the captain's chairs.
Eklipse is going to remind everyone that those gel rounds don't last forever.
Oh no, we're already working on the taping it together. I don't want this fucker waking up.
So you can notice that on the ear there is a small tag that you can scan and it has detailed information.
Groovy.
Oh yeah, let's do some of that.
Eklipse is just covering them.
Level access denied. But unless anyone objects, we'll tape it together into the shuttle bay and work from there. That way we're not standing in the hall.
Don't we get paid less if they kill each other?
But we're not going to go into the shuttle until the other one's for sure snap, and then we'll secure it the same way.
Is there no containment in this shuttle bay, like big crates and boxes and things like that we can start distributing them into?
There are definitely some holding cages that are up against the back wall, but they are obscured from view from the second shot. When you got closer to the foyer, you can see them out of the corner of your eye against the backside, or by the side of the wall.
All right,
okay,
cool.
Well, that
so
solves that problem then.
Yeah, we'll truss him up and stick him in a cage.
Then when we're pretty sure the one inside is taking a nap. Hello.
Bing.
Hello, is there anyone in there?
Nothing in there.
Calling.
Okay. Who put the data reader on him? Could someone read this out for the good people of the YouTubes?
Specimen 12A3. Purpose: digger for subterranean construction. Age 12 days. Aggression level low. Intelligence level moderate.
Thank you.
If it's only 12 days old, then even with the moderate intelligence, it can't have too much experience.
Not at
And
all.
if it's 12A3, maybe looking at a couple more of these being out and about.
Huzzah. So there are cages that you can definitely plop our beautiful specimen 12A3 into, and you can secure.
Barscil will look over at Eklipse and be like, "Think the tails grow back? I'm a little bit hungry. You'll see what this little fucker tastes like." You know, it's just a big lizard. Maybe the whole tail will just grow back, right?
There you go. Is anyone going to take a look or check in on the lovely raptor that we have stored in the second shuttle that's pumped out no oxygen?
As soon as Traxx can confirm that, if he can confirm through video feed that it is, assed out. I mean, we're not going to leave air out of it for 10 minutes. I don't want it dead, but we probably need at least 3 or 4 minutes of no air in there. But as soon as we can see that it's, been laying still for more than a minute, we'll go in there and attempt to truss it.
Okay.
If we can confirm that, if the cameras can't tell, then we'll just have to make a good
So
guess.
Traxx will need to do a perception check on the video feed because he's still linked to it, and then I'll give you guys the answer on how our lovely little angry friend is doing.
Much anger. Have a Snickers. Checking different cameras. Check camera A, camera B, camera D. I can't see it anywhere.
This is where it all goes wrong.
Barscil will take the moment to find a crate to pee behind.
What did you roll, dear?
Huh? What? Was I supposed to roll something?
Yeah, perception.
Perception, buddy.
There was us thinking you were building the suspense.
He was.
Yeah.
Horn catch on the shuttle. Oh, what? I'm supposed to be doing something?
Perception 0.
I was making up a list of notes for this session.
Yes, perception for the cameras to see if that little fucker's still alive or still kicking. Hopefully he's alive, but he's still angry. Any of them that we accidentally kill, we'll just accidentally kill. It's no big deal.
It totally is. There's a million Nuen on the line here. That's approximately a lot of Nuen each.
Yes, but there was another team here, so the other team killed him.
Exactly.
Also, if there's nobody alive to claim that million new yen, it kind of sucks, doesn't it?
Well, technically, you can actually walk away with 2 million new yen because you can claim the other person's bounty if you find their contract.
All right, 1 fail, 3 passes. What's that get us?
All right, so the camera views from all different angles of it as he expertly scouted the facility reveals that the raptor has hunkered down near the back of the shuttle and hasn't been moving.
If the shuttle, Tacoma speaks up, if the shuttle is still somewhat functional, can we, after we have taped it up, can we also seal the Raptor up in the cryo facility?
There are no cryo facilities on the shuttle. However, you can definitely pull up the schematics and ask the onboard AI of the station if there are cryogenic suspension units.
Those would be super handy. Unless they are logistically practical.
So you'll definitely need to roll a charisma check and actually talk to the station to see if she'll be willing to talk to you guys.
Ooh, charisma! Just charisma?
Just your charisma, and then you need to actually talk to the station. You can't just roll and say, yeah, this is the stuff we want. You gotta say, oh, benevolent God that is around us and lets us breathe in the atmosphere of space. Like, because she's not very happy.
So first roll and then talk, or?
Talk and then give me the roll.
Okay, so Tacoma clears her throat and tries to speak up. We address the guardian of this place. If you can hear us, please respond. We have been summoned to ensure the safety of this research facility and this specimen. If you can hear us, please respond. And I will I will roll 5. Oh, so I got 1 3, 3 4s, and 1 6.
Okay.
21 altogether.
A female voice devoid of emotion speaks up very quietly and speaks to you. Finally, you acknowledge that I actually exist. Thank you so much for shooting one of my little experiments. I do appreciate that. And could you please turn the air back on the shuttle, for you're trying to kill one of my babies?
Is this just with Tacoma in her head, or is it audio for everybody?
It's full audio.
Eklipse replaces the magazine and cycles that around in response to what she's just said.
Tacoma
And
is...
I don't want to kill it. If it starts dying, let us know. I'll go in there. We're just trying to secure the facility.
Yeah, Tacoma takes a brave bow and speaks up. We do apologize, ma'am. We did not recognize that these were your children. However, we do assure you that the means that we have regretfully taken to restrain them were not lethal, and now we require your assistance to continue their survival. Yeah, we humbly request your assistance in containing your children in such a way that they would not be harmed any further.
She ponders it over through the silence and says, the last team said the near exact same thing as you did. And then they went in and killed 5 of my children. They were the harmless ones, the ones that would go to help people and benefit people. So I let loose all the other ones upon them, and they were probably eaten. How can I trust you?
Well, we've already used Joe rounds, not injure that one any more than possible. We're trying to put this one to sleep instead of going in there, with weapons to harm it. We're trying to put it to sleep so we can secure it. We're trying really hard not to harm your experiments.
Yeah, Tacoma coughs up again and says, ma'am, as you can very well see, and you may take this as the token of our good faith, we have indeed not used any lethal measures so far, and as you have seen, we have taken all precautions to minimize harm. And she is showing the vents that they have sealed up, and mentions, indeed, we have only resorted to non-lethal measures so far.
The AI voice snickers for a moment and bursts into laughter and saying, "I'm just fucking with you guys. Oh my god, the last team, yeah, they got eaten. It's kind of disappointing, but someone's hacked into my system. I have no control whatsoever over any of the internal security systems or measures. It needs to be reset in the control bridge, and unfortunately, I have no access to that. You can kill as many of these fuckers as you want. It is absolutely not a problem."
Tacoma continues, well, that is all fine and good, but our contract states that it is still in our best interest to keep as many of them alive as we can. So if you would kindly point us to the cryo facilities, if you do have these on board, so that we can both benefit.
Unfortunately, our cryo facilities are actually at full occupancy. Once the contagions and the specimens broke out, we had numbers of wounded individuals that we had to put into stasis to stop from internal hemorrhaging and bleeding out. So, unfortunately, we cannot provide assistance in that regard.
Do you have holding cells?
The individual holding cells, which are located on decks 6, 7, and 8, are fully operational.
And if we gain access to that area, would we be able to close the individual cells?
Security override is only able to be unlocked from the command bridge on deck 10.
Deck 10, got it.
You are clearly on deck 1. She chides in very ruefully and trying to supersede her superior intelligence.
One more question. Tacoma sort of swallows hard at this point. What would be the most optimal path of reaching to deck 10?
Why, the elevator shaft, of course. However, during the first primal outbreak, all the elevator shafts were opened, and the elevator cart itself is unfortunately unavailable for use.
Damn it, Sheldon.
Climbing it is.
For the artificial intelligence looks down towards Barscil and says, "I also am able to deduce that you're thinking about how to regain access to different areas, but unfortunately you do have to reset the main junction box in the command bridge on level 10, and then after that is done, you can start to seal down compartments as you go."
Sounds
Nicely
good.
done.
I was just trying to see if we could, kick on more video for you as we go. What we could do to help you help us is my goal with everything.
While I am not a Pokédex and cannot tell you each of the particular species that you will run into, I can classify the ones which are either aggressive and or non-hostile.
If we tap into your system, will you be able to provide us with video feeds or at least motion sensor information to give us a little bit of heads up about each area that we're about to enter?
Access is restricted. Only the command crew has permission to gain those functions.
I got a swipey card.
Swipey card was revoked after the 12-hour prolonged period of no communication with the surface.
Sounds good. I've got a card that says I'm the authorized commander. Right here, I got it in my wallet. Authorized personnel, it says so.
That card was revoked 12 minutes ago.
Well, I think we can help.
I would greatly appreciate it if you could help, as this facility is losing several million new yen per the hour.
Be good.
Oh, believe me, we have shared interests.
I have heard the amount of information that is based on your credit card transaction of 100,000 new yen in your bank accounts does display to me that you are willing to take on the job. However, I do willfully see that you do progress slowly, as levels 2, 3, and 4 are the more aggressive levels, and our last commanding officer is on deck 4.
Would that commanding officer be in possession of the authorization that would give us access to your feeds and information?
If she is currently alive in her station, indeed so. However, she has locked herself off and torn out all video feed and internal communication.
Great.
I can definitely light the path using internal floor illumination grids to point you in the direct location that you need to go.
One more question. If the only access between the levels is the elevator shaft, will there be ways to seal off the levels in between?
You were certainly doing a very fine job of those vents earlier. You could potentially do that to barricade the elevator shafts as you move up and progress to level 10.
And what about the alternate ways, like vent shafts, all sorts of crawl spaces in between? Will those be a potential hazard?
12 of the individual species are juvenile in size and therefore seclude themselves in small, tight, confined spaces. However, the aggressive species are able to pull individuals into the vents on the higher levels where gravity is more permeable than the lower levels where they tend to avoid. In surmise, yes, the vents, air shafts, and any small crawl spaces are a potential threat depending on the species you encounter.
And at some point, we are going to have to come back down and clear it.
Mm-hmm.
The individual who shot one of my little specimens has been awfully quiet during this conversation. Perhaps he has some wisdom he would like to shed.
No wisdom, she's just being stoic.
The individual who is currently tracking specimen as she 4Z8 in the shuttle. What is your current she has a glitch in her system. The individual who's on the shuttle that is currently removing the life support from the shuttle would caution extremely that 4ZE is a rather aggressive species with extreme alterations to its internal structure.
Meaning it's probably got cyberware lungs that taking the oxygen out probably isn't going to be enough.
She sighs and she directs a communication terminal link to your, because of your charisma check earlier, Tacoma. She says, I shouldn't be doing this, but the last team didn't heed my warnings about this particular species and ended up getting eaten, so she provides.
Ooh. Specimen 4Z8. Purpose. Urban Elimination Unit Military Property. Alterations. Internal respiration recycler. Oh shit. Enhanced skeletal and neurological implants. Enhanced brain mass. Claw heat blade augmentation. Shit, guys, we need to do something fast. Age 21 days. Aggression extreme. Can we hack it?
It has an internal motivator and therefore cannot be hacked. Which was one of the causation rules that, deeming that the species as a total was too dangerous, they tried to slip it by the quarantine procedures, and this one was the real cause and concern for the actual eventual outbreak that we had.
Tacoma massages her brow and says, guys, I don't care about any of the other specimen, but we gotta kill this one. Otherwise, there will be nobody to collect the new yen for the live specimen.
Eklipse will say if you think
species
it's
are there
that
left in this
dangerous and there's
facility?
no other alternative, then if you think that's the way it's got to be, then it's got to be that way.
Well, the specimen is currently sitting in our fallback area.
Also, since there's limited gravity here, how about we just, like Tacoma said earlier, set the shuttle outside the facility. We can blow it up outside if we have to. You know, I don't want to try exploding the shuttle in here and damaging the facility. But if it's gonna be if we're gonna kill it anyway, let's see if we can't shove it out the door and deal with it outside.
We are wearing spacesuits.
I mean, I can use a couple various spells and see what we can't do to it.
Wait, can't you just goop it?
I have to touch it.
Are you sure you want to do that, Barscil?
Let me take a look. I'll go in there and fuck it up. Oh my god. Stars are sexy, right?
How are you gonna touch it through the spacesuit?
I'll just cut a hole in the door and I'll stick my hand in. It biting my hand counts as me touching it. It says contact. It didn't say what kind of contact.
Ah.
I'll allow it, but you might lose your hand.
Yeah, it'll grow back.
I love it.
Let me double. I say we just punch a hole in the door and gas the shit out of it. Oh, there's my turn to go.
It's got an internal respirator system. You can't gas it. It won't work.
Space it, I say.
Yeah, I think that's probably our best option, is to just push it out the airlock and watch it drift off into space.
Someone to find later on, 100 years from now. That'd be great.
It'll land on a planet, and turns out it was pregnant all along, and starts its own colony of evil space lizard mutants, raptor things, and that's it, the downfall of humanity. They learn the technology because of their extreme intelligence, and they learn how to become spacefaring again, return to Earth and overthrow their original masters.
Can we increase the pressure inside the shuttle instead of removing her?
Ah.
That is definitely a potential.
I've got death touch and it's instant. Go in there and see how many hands I can lose trying to touch the fucking thing. Hey, maybe if it's smart enough, we can put it on our side. We'll take it home. It has to help us retake the facility.
You know, for the touch, we could try and cut a small hole. Again, back to the small holes. Small hole into the door and sort of lure it to reach out to us.
You can do that for sure if you want to try it.
If it'll stick a little clawed arm out.
Yeah,
like
I've got lightning. I've got lightning. I've got fire. I've got acid. I could. Else. See what it'll do if I fill that whole fucking shuttle full of acid. Fucker. You tell me what I need to do.
Does the shuttle have any internal defenses?
No, they were. It's a civilian shuttle.
What about fire suppression?
There is fire suppression as per standard on all facility shuttles or company shuttles.
And it's obvious it's not intelligent enough, due to probably experience, to try to take the shuttle. It destroyed it. So I don't think we really have to worry about it trying to take over, just kill us.
Downfall of mankind on your shoulders.
AI
It will be able to cut through the door eventually, I think.
Eventually.
Thermal blades and all that.
What kind of fire suppression is it? Is it some kind of gas or foam or what?
It's extinguishing fluid. Or extinguishing foam, but it comes out as a spray. And then solidifies.
Okay, where the creature's hiding, can we get access to where it's at from the outside of the ship at all? Is it on a floor plate that I can get to the bottom side of?
It's on the main passenger floor. There's a underside that you can definitely go under into the service bay and then work your way up into the ship. You can certainly do that.
Oh, no. I'm not. I don't have the size of the shuttle correct, apparently.
23 meters.
Okay, I obviously did not have it correct.
Carrying capacity is of 26 people, including storage units and the autopilot, along with 20 to 30 tons of foodstuffs and supplies.
I say let's space it.
Yeah, either space it or risk with the luring it to the door and doing death touches or whatever.
I say we leave the life support off and space it.
Docking clamps are disengaged, says the online terminal computer, and the shuttle is tractored out into space and starts to drift slowly and elegantly.
Can we keep a tractor lock on it, so it's within? So if we don't destroy it, then it's still retrievable by various idiot scientists who want to come and retrieve it later on their own heads.
Yeah, can we put it into an orbit around the station?
Unfortunately, the station is not large enough to generate its own gravitational field, which would require massive modifications to the internal engine and gravity specs located on level 2, and the tractor beam requires a substantial amount of energy to maintain a lock on a particular individual. It's only designed to bring in a shuttle and to allow it to move out without damaging the internal hangar.
Let's space it and fireball it then.
Spacing and fireballing it confirmed.
With approval of the rest of the group, of course. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It'd be nice if we could save it, but this one's just far too dangerous to tackle.
Yeah, I agree.
It is a liability for a whole mission.
The computer chimes up with a little bit of a smile. Congratulations, you got further than the last team. That was their shuttle. Just to forewarn you, though, there are still 2 more left on the higher level decks, on level 8 and level 9.
I don't know if it's enough, but it says 20 damage on the fireball.
Because the ship is currently not generating any sort of external energy to repel any sort of damage. It takes the damage and goes up in flames. Whoosh.
Okay. Sorry, we'll take that out of my pay.
It's only 15,000 new yen. You guys are fine.
Yeah. For the shuttle, that's great. No, when we flew up, it was exploded. I don't understand.
Clearly. All right, so we'll leave it at that point. So you guys are now in the foyer. You have an artificial intelligence. Will be slightly more sarcastic as you proceed into the facility. You have neutralized 1 non-aggressive specimen 12A3. Was kind of more of a little bit of a pain in the ass.
42 to go.
Well, 42 aggressive species and 17 non-aggressive species.
Oh.
Or specimens. Sorry, I shouldn't say species. Specimens. There are multiples. There are 10 of specimen 12A3. So
specimens are people too.
Specimens are people too, indeed. So there. But congratulations, you all survived. Because I honestly wanted you guys to open up the door. If you did that, I mean, fuck, that thing would have just gone crazy.
Well, you can just take it out on us with the next 2.
Well, there are other dangerous ones that are even that They're not as aggressive, but they are extremely intelligent, and they'll use traps.
Oh yeah,
So-
and the little combies weren't aggressive really, but they were they killed 4 or 5 people. Their little neutralizing bite.
They're little bastards.
Might get me a Triceratops one of these days. I think I'm kidding. I want a smaller one, but I want a tricad instead of like a moose or a deer head. I want a Triceratops. I want to paper mache it and do the skeleton.
I might just oblige you with that as an attraction in the amusement park. If you definitely want to, if you know how to genetically modify. If you get to one of the template bays, it's basically a very high confidential creation system where you can basically select and choose all the different parts and then combine it into a completely new individual.
We could also, since I'm looking at the spaz in the middle of my floor, have them ship up 10,000 cats, so we can just run cats through this until the raptors, lose their shit. Feed them cats 10,000 at a time, and while they're fucking with the angry kitties, we can dart their asses. He's seriously killing his tail upside down in the middle of my living floor. Sunbeam.
All right, so are we done?
We are done.
Excellent work,
Good job.
crew. Nice one. I had a lot of fun. Thank you very much. You're a good dungeon master.
Well, thank you.